Greetings, fellow travelers. Thank you so much for joining me. This is your girl Mojo. Welcome to my channel, Magic in Progress. It has been a very long time. I know, right? A lot of shit been going on. I started school in January, and that has been an experience. Taking a full-time course load. So, any students out there, I know y'all feel my pain. But I'm making it work, and I'm thankful for that. In addition to just juggling everyday mundane life things, besides all the energetic, spiritual changes, things coming to an end, things coming to fruition, things in progress. But without further ado, here are the three groups that I have today for you all. The topic of today's reading: what is your superpower? What is your superpower? Haven't you ever wondered if, you have something that is special about you, some purpose, some mission, perhaps, that you are here to do? This reading hopefully will help you figure that out by asking the question, what is your superpower? Um, Prior to recording, I just, asked Spirit, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to just let this information be useful to whosoever would find their way to this reading today, in the future, whatever. Because ultimately, that's what I'm here to do, is help people see and understand, to gain wisdom and information that they can use. I did actually also pick a group. My choice is group number 1. So if you haven't already decided which one you'd like to select, go ahead and take a moment, pause the video if you need to. I will post the timestamps down below so that you can just skip right ahead, unless you're like me and like to watch the whole video. These are very general readings, so keep that in mind. If you do choose a pile, or more than one, or all of them, not everything that is said may apply to you. Some things may not, and that's fine if they don't, again, because these are readings that multiple people are picking. So some things that I say may be for others, whereas some things that I say are not for everyone. Okay, let's go. Pile number 1. Superpower. Okay. So, this is interesting. Both of the Rider-Waite cards are reversed. I wasn't sure in the beginning if I was going to read the reversed cards. I know a lot of people tend to look at those as being bad or negative. But in the case of this question, I feel like maybe these are saying, this is something that's underdeveloped, or something that has yet to be tapped into, or could also be something that's really internalized and hasn't manifested itself in a way that you would notice in this physical realm. Okay. The two things I noticed right off the top, the animal card and the Taming the Wind card. This is from a beautiful deck that I just gifted myself. It's called the Mystical Shaman Oracle. Really, really beautiful imagery, beautiful artwork. Both of these cards are about the mind. The the animal energy present here for us number ones is this. That's funny, because I'm laughing because it says decisiveness, but like making a decision, my God, is like the bane of my existence. Okay, because having to choose, having to narrow it down, like, oh my God, there's any number of unknown factors, any number of known factors, and trying to decide which thing is the best thing is sometimes it's like throwing a knotted rope in front of a vampire. Like, if you want to stop me, have me make a decision, because that's about to shut everything down. Like, oh my God. But apparently, making choices, okay, and taking appropriate action, decisiveness, is our superpower, number ones. And then check this out. We've got this 55 here. In numerology, 5 plus 5 is 10. That's another number one. So it's like a confirmation of that. Taming the wind. The element of wind or air is associated with the mind, is what I associate it with. Things to do with thoughts, thinking, ideas. You could even say worries, that constant round and round stream of thoughts. But apparently, according to this, we have the ability to tame that, to bring it under control. Like, you can't really get away from the round and round. Once you start meditating, if you don't have a practice or if it's not something that you've done before, once you start doing it, what you're going to realize is that constant, I wonder, what is this? Where is that? What's going on? That never goes away. Your brain, your mind is designed to wonder and ask questions. It is designed to gain information, categorize it, file it away for later use. So you're never going to get away from that constant stream of thoughts. But what you can do is not let yourself be swayed by that. And so for us number ones, it looks like we have superb mental powers. Like, we're able to use our minds to make things happen. Making choices and taking appropriate action, as this card says, in a formula type of way of thinking about it. It's something that results in another thing. Basically, A plus B equals C. I considered the facts or the details. I made a choice, and then this thing happened, which is really the only way that you're gonna get shit to happen. You can't really do nothing when you're spinning around in circles, feeling crazy and harried by all of the things that you're thinking about. These two cards tell me that, we have the ability to kind of step outside of that round and round. Ooh, see? And then look, with this 4 of Cups here, this card upright, I don't want to say traditionally, but usually the meaning that I see in text for this card is somebody who's disillusioned. Like, they've got 4 cups. There are options, but they don't really like any of them. Like, they can see all of them. They're kind of just sitting up against a tree, being really despondent, and maybe even feeling apathetic, lackadaisical about it. Like, oh, I don't like any of these things, but I need to pick something. I need something, or I want something. Now, cups are emotional, which, thoughts can carry emotions with them. It's mostly based on how we feel about what we are thinking about. You think about something sad, you're going to feel sad. You think about something that carries angry energy with it, you're going to feel rage. So on and so forth. But and the card is reversed, I feel, because we have this inner ability not to be carried away by these things that we are seeing. The hand coming out of the cloud with the cup, symbolic of a divine gift. Some people feel like their thoughts are a curse. Being human is a curse, but it's actually a gift. All of these things that we experience are to help us have the experience of being human. Everybody thinks, oh, we got to try to get somewhere. No, this is it. Everything that you think, you see, you feel, you touch, even the sound of my voice, even how my voice sounds to you, is part of your experience here. And you are able to use that to inform how you view the world and how you choose to move through it. Again, taming the wind. You're able to rein those thoughts in, and make a decision, something that will ultimately result in something that you, or maybe somebody else, will be helped by. I'm going to look at the information for this card because they come with what they call essences and invitations. Let's see. It's time to clear your energy. Be present and become conscious of how you communicate. This is a good time to write in a journal and put your thoughts into a cohesive form. Perhaps you need to actually do a smudging ceremony in your home or office. Creating a sacred space to write about your dreams and desires. Just remember that when taming the wind appears as a symbol, it is time to honor the Great Spirit with reverence and respect. Okay, and I will also read the essence. Here, the feather, a symbol that is used in clearing ceremonies for smudging, reminds you of the sacred commitment you make to your life. This is a symbol of consciously bringing the spiritual into the material, infusing the world with reverence and acknowledgement of the higher planes of existence that influence and animate life. The feather is a symbolic reminder of deliberately entering into a partnership with Great Spirit to co-create for the highest good for all. And the way that things manifest, they start with an idea. They start with an intention, which is a seed. You plant that seed, then you water it, then mysteriously, somehow, it turns into a thing. It turns into a book or a new house or a new hairstyle or a new way of thinking. Like, what can't you actually create is the question. And again, that is all based on your decisions, your ability to not let yourself be carried away by the constant round and round of your thoughts. Now, the Three of Pentacles, this upright, you see somebody, he's working on something. There is work in progress. There is something tangible, as symbolized by the pentacles, which represents the element of earth. That which is that you can touch, see, hear, feel, something that applies to all of your senses, things you can taste. This person is working on this thing, and you have somebody maybe here that's commissioned him for this work because they're holding an image that looks just like this, and they are surveying, they are reviewing it, maybe even giving him a critique or telling him where he can improve upon this. How this all fits in to the rest of this, I feel like this is assessment of work in progress, which is kind of, what happens when you finally take a thought and begin to work on making it a reality. Like, this is reverse, so it's an internal process. This is really how you keep yourself sane after you've made your choice, after you've considered all your options, tamed your wind, made that decision, and now you're working on it. So our superpower number one is the ability to harness the intention, and then the ability to give it the work, the room, the breath, the area, the space that it needs to come into being, which, becomes evidence of our appropriate action. Basically, we are Professor X. Okay? Okay, number ones. Interesting. And it's funny because, like I said in the beginning, making decisions has ever been a difficult thing for me. Um, but, I feel like we often don't really see ourselves as we really are, or even sometimes as other people see us. We often judge ourselves much more harshly. Um, and so, being finding out my superpower is mental, is making choices, like, that's hilarious. That means I need to reevaluate my perspective. If decision making is difficult for you, then you got to refine that process if you're number one, especially because, what we saw here today is that we're actually really good at that. Who says that your decisions have to be snap right away? All you can do is consider what's important or what matters. Weigh it up, make a choice, boom, that's it. And you don't have to feel bad about that. Maybe you will deliberate for a minute. Maybe you need a week. Maybe you need 30 days. The ultimate idea is take as long as you need to. But also, my personal advice, just from personal experience, don't weary yourself into a hole. You got to make a choice, because if you don't, sometimes the choice is already made for you. In that case, there's no use in just wearying yourself to death. Your heart knows. Your heart knows, and your intuition knows. You got to do what it is that you got to do. So just let it be. Okay, number twos. What is your superpower? These reverse cards. I was so sure, so hoping that none of these would be reversed. Okay. Well, three reversed, one upright. That is interesting. Okay. So number two, just based off of this, and off of this, um, this is the lizard card. It says dream time. Pay attention to your dreams and visions. This is the Ace of Cups reversed. This is the Two of Wands reversed. And this beautiful card says stand still. The number on this card is 52, which in numerology equates to being a 7, which is a number of spiritual development, spiritual power, spiritual growth, maybe even, especially even spiritual challenges, because that's how growth happens. Seed gets bigger by breaking out of its shell. Child gets bigger and outgrows its clothes and all of its shoes and childish ways of doing things. Growth does not happen without change, which may seem catastrophic at the time, but when you look back, it was kind of necessary. So number twos, I feel like y'all might be some type of prophet or prophetess, a seer, somebody that has visions, insight. It may not necessarily be something that you were able to interpret, something that you may not necessarily even understand right now. Because this is the language, this is the realm of the subconscious, which is symbolized by the element of water. That also symbolizes emotions, feelings, which, can come in waves, like water, which are reflections, like what happens when you look down in a pool of water. The cup is overflowing. In the Ace of Cups, the phrase that always comes to mind for the aces in tarot are fairy gifts. Um, Not necessarily exactly working with fairies. If you do, that's cool. I don't necessarily work directly with them. I don't try to run afoul of them because I hear they can be pretty mean. And I don't need that kind of trouble in my life. But also, in general, aces are considered to be gifts from the divine, because you'll see in the traditional cards the hand coming out of the cloud. It's just like, here's this thing, I give it to you now. But the thing about the aces is you gotta actually take it. Like, they can hand it to you, but you have to actually grab it, and then you have to use it. Aces would be considered the seed of the suit. So, this is something that you can take and then plant. And then, back to what we were saying for number ones, watch it grow into something, obviously with the proper care and work. It's interesting that the two follows this Ace of Cups here, because that would be the next number in the suit. Two is I associated with the High Priestess, because she comes right after the Magician. So this is like a symbol of femininity, or the divine feminine, the great and sacred womb, where magic and mystery, where power is, because she takes that intention of the magician and adds her special oomph to it, adds her special power to it, to channel it into being. And without either of them, the magician or the high priestess, we wouldn't really be anywhere. They're both equally important. Even though I know some people like to try to play up one side or the other, they both need each other in order to be really effective, though they are wonderful in and of themselves. Okay, but yeah, prophet. This person is a prophet or a seer. You've had dreams that have come true. You dream about people that you know. You may even be at the point where you're dreaming about people that you don't know all that well. Maybe somebody that you've met one or two times. You may get visions about things that you're supposed to tell people. And I understand this can be scary, this can be weird, because how do you walk up to somebody and tell them, hey, you might want to go to a doctor? Like, I had a dream that you were really sick. I have a friend that dreams about people in this way, and the reaction of the person that she tells, so far it hasn't been a bad reaction. Most of the people do end up following up on her advice, only to find out, after they come from the doctor, yes, they really are sick. Or, the reaction is, yes, I am dealing with that. How did you know? And, all she can say is, I had a dream about it. Like, yeah, you need to go to the doctor. Go back to the doctor. Like, I've had similar dreams of things that have happened um, in my absence, and then when I go to the place in waking life and find out that a thing has actually happened, like, holy shit, I didn't know. I saw this in a dream 3 weeks ago. And basically what this card is saying is, you need to pay attention to those dreams and visions. You're getting those for a reason. You may be some kind of medium. Definitely got some psychic ability going on. My suggestion to you would be to maybe keep a journal of what you're dreaming about, so that you can document it and review it later. You're not always going to know immediately what a dream is about. It may take some time. for you to be able to digest that information. And I know how it happens with me. I can ask a question, and sometimes I get an immediate response, either through an encounter with somebody, or I hear something, like maybe even on TV or a song, or I find something. You know how this works. These synchronicities. This is really funny and interesting how the information that we seek comes to us. So it can come through a myriad of ways, and sometimes it just takes time for that information to process, to make its way to us, and then we have to be paying attention. How many times does spirit have to tap on your shoulder before you say, "Oh, hey, there's the thing," So yeah, keeping the journal, documenting. Sorry about that. Got a phone call. No worries. Took a minute to refresh my incense. I love these little things. This is what I use. This Dragon's Blood from him. This is the best brand of this so far that I have found. Although I do want to get some actual Dragon's Blood resin. But it's very expensive, and I want to make sure that I'm getting the real thing. But so far, this stuff is great. I love it. It smells really good. Yeah, pay attention to your dreams and visions, because the reason that you're getting this information is so that it can be, it's going to be one or two things. It's either something that you can use, or it's something that you may need to share with someone else to help them. I don't agree that everything everybody sees needs to be shared all the time. You really got to consult with your intuition on that. If you work with ancestors or spirit guides, definitely consult with them in regards to how you should handle the things that you're seeing, because every message just ain't for everybody. Um, and also make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Learn the language of symbols, because that is the language that your subconscious speaks in. And so it will be of great benefit to you to learn a way to be able to communicate with that part of yourself. It would be like going to a different country and not knowing how to speak the language. Like, you're not going to be able to get food. You're not going to be able to find a bank or a toilet. Like, that's all bad. You want to be able to navigate your way through the countryside, or at least find somebody that can help you. And learning the language of symbols will definitely do that. um, this Another thing I noticed before when I was talking. This kind of seems like a progression. It's saying, number one, pay attention to your dreams and visions. Ace of Cups, which there are gifts that are being given to you. Either they are being really internalized, they are in process of development, or you're not paying attention to them, maybe even taking them for granted. Don't do that. Ooh, I'm just looking at my nails. I got some black stuff like around my fingernails because I had an accident with some powdered charcoal yesterday, and it got everywhere, and I still haven't gotten rid of all of it. So don't be alarmed. I'm not dying. I'm not a filth or disgust. I just have charcoal powder. Use it to brush my teeth. Use it on my face and my neck for my skin care and things like that. But yes, okay, so saying pay attention, um, that you need to actually take the gift in your hand, or rather take the opportunity to work with it. Stop ignoring it. Stop kind of playing it off as if it's nothing. And maybe it's scary, to realize that you have a direct connection to something that can't really be confirmed. Like, all of this, is speculation. All of this is intuitive. There are no books really that can tell you, unless they are written by people who have also had your experiences. And even then, our experiences are our own. No one person's experience is going to set the pace or be the rule book for how this should go. There is no should, as far as any of this is concerned, whether it's reading tarot, interpreting dreams, whether it's how you meditate, how you do a full moon ritual. There is no should. There is only your intuition. There is only connecting to source. And, because we are so varied as individuals, as people, these experiences can take many, many shapes. So once you start doing that, then, getting to a place with the Two of Wands. Now, this is about passion. This is about action, power, maybe even something to do with work, something that generates resources. This person has the world in their hands. Like, I don't even know how much more obvious that symbology can get. They're at a point of decision, at a point of choosing between one path or another, and having the world at their feet as a result. Not at their feet like bowing down, but I mean being able to choose one way or another. Um, and then, with this card, stand still, without even looking at the book just yet for it, what I'm getting out of it is, like I said, sometimes these things aren't always apparent to us immediately. When you are at a point of decision making, um, unless it's like an emergency or something that you've just waited until the last minute to deal with, sometimes you gotta just sit on back. Okay, sorry about that. Apparently, I'm running out of space on my phone. I don't know what the purpose of having an SD card is if it doesn't save shit to it. So, yeah. I'm just going to get on with the get on because I don't know how long I have. Essence of this card. When stand still appears, it is a symbol of pausing, the act of observation and breathing space. It represents the benefits of temporary non-action as well as what happens when one is stuck. Since it's reversed, I'm going to read the medicine for this. For your superpower of prophecy, and maybe feeling like you don't know what to do with that. It's time to get out of analysis paralysis. Stand still invites you to turn within, breathe, and recognize this is the condition of the moment. It allows you the opportunity to bear witness to whatever is going on before movement resumes. This is also an opportunity to abort a project, to exit before damage. And it may also be a time to relieve you of an unnecessary burden that you took on without considering the cost. Which one is it depends on your stopping, taking a deep breath, quieting your mind, and removing all your distractions. Then you can make your next move in a grounded, relaxed, detached way. When something doesn't go the way you think it should, remember the following. What is yours cannot be taken away. Again, superpower, prophecy, visions, messages of import from spirit. I think of Adele's song, Hello from the Other Side. Um, the real question is, are you in a place where you can actually use this? Which is why I said take care of yourself. You can't have dream time if you don't sleep. Maybe you're dealing with insomnia, or you have medication that alters your sleep, or you engage in activities that inhibit your dreams. You have to do what you need to do. Number one, to take care of yourself. I'm not telling you to stop your medication by any means, but if it's not really working out for you, you got to talk to your doctor and see what alternatives are available. I'm definitely a fan of holistic healthcare, using herbal remedies. But again, if you are on medication, definitely consult with your physician, consult with licensed people, because everything, again, out here is not good for everyone. There are some plants that will contraindicate with medications that you are on. So again, please speak to your physician before you make any major changes like that. But outside of that, getting proper rest, drinking water, this is the medium for emotion, for spirit, which is why when you see people setting up ancestor altars or doing things like in the movie Constantine, when he wanted to connect to the other side, he put his foot in water. When he pushed that lady under the water so she could go there. Water is a medium, and if you are dry, you are not connected. So, make sure you are sufficiently watered, so that you can be in a place where you can get the information that you need out of this. Okay. Oh my God, I hope I don't start panicking because my phone was just beeping at me. Okay. And number 3. Okay, one card that isn't reversed. Another 2. And more cups. Oh, look at that. The rainbow. A 5. Another 5. Oh, baby, look at this. This is one of my favorite cards. The Raven. Quote the Raven, nevermore. One of my favorite poems by Edgar Allan Poe. Number 3. You a magician, baby. Because, Raven, like, it's pretty obvious. It's saying magic. Own your power. You have the ability to make shit happen. You need to stop doubting yourself. Maybe you think that you can't because maybe the shit that you tried to make happen didn't turn out exactly the way that you wanted it to. But let me tell you something. That's not how it works. First of all, you have to get aligned with yourself. You have to get aligned with your heart. If you believe in God, you have to get aligned with God's will. He's not, or she's not, or they're not, whatever you want to call them, are not going to allow shit to be that doesn't align with the true will, or God's will, or the will of the universe, if you want to really personalize it like that. For me, personally, I think about aligning with the most authentic, truest version of myself. Case in point, real quick, because I don't want to drone on and make my phone bitch me out. But I tried to go to school so many times after the first time that I left, due to financial difficulty. And I tried all of these different subjects, things that I thought would make me a bunch of money, which, probably would have had I stuck with them. But I really didn't find any value personally, even though they were things like medical billing and coding, computer programming. My God, what else have I tried? Healthcare management. I don't know. Whole bunch of shit. And it didn't work for me. And, I really wanted to go to school for something else, but I could only do other things because I didn't have the time. I didn't have the resources to go to school for chemistry and biology like I wanted. Like, you have to be able to go to school full time. You have to attend on campus. I got a family. I had to have a job. Like, that shit wasn't going to work. It was only until this year, last year, rather, the end of last year, that I was able to go to school and find a school for something that I wanted, which is an English degree, which is what I'm pursuing because writing is my passion. When I write, I feel so alive. It is like a fire that has been lit within my belly, and is all that I can do to write the stories down that come to me. And I feel like it finally worked this time, me getting back into school, finding the program, having the resources and the time to do it, because it aligns with who I am, who I really am truly. I may love science and I may have an ability and an aptitude for medical billing and coding and computer programming, but writing is who I am. And so, until you get in line with yourself, until you get your shit together, you may find that your magic is not doing what you want it to necessarily. Not saying it will all not work. Things will work, but they'll work so much better when you start getting in touch with yourself, when you start checking in with your own heart and your own mind, finding out what it is that lights you afire. Um, and so, like in this card, we see this person. They're obviously mourning the loss of something that was spilled out of these cups. They're not even paying attention to the two cups that are behind them. Like, okay, I'm sorry that your shit fell over and you spilled it. But it's not all lost. You have two whole cups back here that you could salvage and enjoy still. Not saying don't feel bad about losing the shit. That's how we feel. That is a normal human emotion. Nobody likes to lose. Nobody likes to feel like they are missing out on something. I totally get it. I have these feelings, you know what I'm saying? I'm still a person. But the more I mature, the more value, the more I find in being able to, accept that this has happened, but also realize that I still have something left, that, all is not lost, and that there is something that I can work with. And when you are a magician, somebody that has this power, this ability to make things happen, it's almost like being a MacGyver sort of person. You can take the oddest materials and make something beautiful out of it. If you don't know who MacGyver is MacGuyver, and this man will build a bomb out of an avocado, a Q-tip, a paper clip, and a stick of a burnt incense. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's resourceful. Um, and he doesn't let anything stop him. Finds himself a very old show. I may be telling my age. Don't judge me. But, being resourceful, being aware of what you have around you and making it work to your benefit. The ravens are particularly interesting to me really shortly because I associate them with Odin. He hangs around with two ravens, Hugin and Munin, which are thought and memory. They fly about the earth in the Norse mythology, and they tell Odin everything that they see. Ravens can be, a little tricksy. They can be funny, conversational. Um, they can be omens of very good luck. Or they could also be omens of death, in certain situations, but that's not the subject here. The particular subject is the magic of the raven. And then we have the rainbow, which is interesting. I think about the pot of gold, that to me is a symbol of finding something after a journey. In the Norse mythology, which I'm very much into right now, Heimdall guards the Rainbow Bridge, the Bifrost, which is what the gods travel on to and from the realms. Being a magician is like having direct access to that energy that will, help you manifest the things that you want. Let me get to the book for this information. The rainbow symbolizes the 7 steps of the true spiritual path, which manifest as the colors of the 7 chakras. In the Himalayas, the rainbow body is seen as the full realization of our essence. The rainbow also represents the bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. At the end of our lives, we can journey across the bridge to the highest heavenly realms. When the rainbow appears, it is an affirmation that all is well and that you are in right relationship with spirit. This is what you're here to do. You are here to be a magician, a wizard, a witch, a warlock, a mage, a sorcerer, like whatever title you want to give yourself. You got the power, okay? Like I can't even make it any more clear than that. And the universe is almost waiting for you to realize it. Stop being a victim. Very sorry about everything that you have experienced that was unfair and unjust. Please believe me, I understand. If nobody else does, I certainly know what it's like to be suffering injustice at the hands of other people. But there comes a point in time where you have to stop seeing yourself as someone who has been victimized and start seeing yourself as someone who has survived through whatever means that may have been. Ultimately, it was due to your resolve not to give up. Nobody survives for us. We survive of our own volition, of our own will. This card is upright. So the invitation says, the rainbow tells you the end of your storm is near. Persevere and remember that it is darkest just before the dawn. Do not give up hope. Things are about to take a positive turn. Listen for the morning rooster that announces the coming of the dawn, even while the night is still darkest. But do not claim victory yet or let your guard down fully. Meaning, as a person who possesses this power, you've still got some work to do. It looks like it may be some emotional sort of trauma that is blocking you from realizing this. Maybe there was something with another person, perhaps a romantic relationship, or at the very least somebody that you were very emotionally tied to, a friend, perhaps a parent, maybe even a sibling like a brother or sister, half brother, half sister. Because we see the 2 cups mirrored here. Maybe you think that relationship, was completely trashed, but it looks like there's still some of it there, and it can't be salvaged. Okay. Here's what I'm getting. Um, it's one of two things. Either that relationship, something happened, and you think that it's trashed, but it's actually not. It did change. When big things happen, it's kind of a bad idea, really, to put it simply, to think that things can ever really go back to being the same. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. We are here to grow and change, to experience, to share that growth and change and experience. And so this may be an invitation for that relationship to blossom, to bloom, to go under metamorphosis into something better or different than what it was before. Or what's the other option? With the card being reversed, it could be also saying that maybe it's something that you finally just need to accept that it's gone. Like I said earlier, reverse cards can either be, can be a few things. Either it's not enough or it's too much. Something that's underdeveloped, or something that is there, but you haven't seen it yet. Really, what I feel like is the thing that I said, with seeing the 2 cups here and the 2 cups here. The thing is not completely decimated like you think it is. It's still there. And, through facing, accepting, realizations, developing new ways, new perspectives of seeing yourself and the other person in this situation is something that can be salvaged. The other possibility, I think, is that there may be someone who is present or who is going to come that is going to help you do this magician thing. Maybe there is somebody who's also on the journey. Just had to check and make sure it was still recording, because we are coming up on Mercury retrograde soon. Maybe somebody that's going through a similar journey, or perhaps I don't feel like it's somebody that's extremely far advanced ahead of you. I'm just looking at the other person in this card. They look pretty similar in age. There is actually a man and a woman. But I see the caduceus of Mercury. So it tells me, it's a situation that involves communication, the sharing of information, but something that affects you deeply and emotionally. Maybe it's a peer. I feel like it's another person who's also experiencing the same thing. So, the advice I will give in this case is, if you have this person in your life, talk to them. Y'all need to hang out and do stuff together. Or maybe you are kind of a solitary person, in which case, that's all fine and good. But, take some time to go out either into the world or go out online. Are you part of any groups on Facebook? Are you following any particular communities on Instagram? Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you interact with people on YouTube, even if you don't have a channel? These are all ways. Even Reddit. These are all ways that we can encounter people. Of course, not everybody takes these internet experiences as meaningful. I am not one of those people. I feel like there are many ways that you can interact with someone's life. You don't necessarily have to be with them in person, and especially with the advent of the internet, that has made connecting with people who are physically really far away from you so much more easier. I will be honest, I have a lot more connection at this point in my life with people who I've never even met, or people who I have known since childhood, but we live in different places. It is literally physically impossible for us to be, physical bosom buddies, but we are so close. Like, we talk with each other every day. We share our experiences. We read tarot for each other. Like, these people need me and I need them. And so, you know what I'm saying? I'm so thankful to have them to go through this experience with. And I feel like you can have that too. It will help you because, again, like with the second group, number 3s, this can be scary. Like, when you realize that you have power in your hands, in your mind, to make shit happen, it's like, oh my God, what? Like, it can be pretty mind-blowing. It can be a mind-blowing realization, and it's helpful to have people around who will explore and walk through with you. Even someone who is going through the same thing that you are, because you guys can compare notes and realize that, no, y'all are not tripping. This is really happening. Well, that was a very interesting read, number 3s. I thank everyone so much for watching the video. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Go ahead and hit the bell so you can be notified of my new videos. I promise I'm going to be doing much more of these more regularly now.